All right, here we go. Bear with me. I'm a complete amateur at this, but I'm going to do my very best. So today I'm going to show you all the things that I've done to the exterior of the boat to get ready for my long trip. Let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right, get the introduction over, and let's go ahead and take a look at this boat. What have we done, Carl? Well, start with, we got all new windows. None of them open. They used to. I got rid of them. These are all double thickness. Strong, made out of Lexan. They won't leak. Lexan or acrylic, I can't remember, but anyway, they're basically bulletproof. And you can see on the cabin house up there's a little hatch that goes to the head. It's new. It's a new used, actually. It's a used hatch that I fixed, put it to work, and anyway, it keeps the ventilation in the head. Go around here to the bow. There's another hatch I put in. New, those hatches are about $1,500. I found that used and only paid $180 for it. It works fine. All right, let's go around to the bow here. See, this is the old anchor. Well, actually, it's a new anchor roller I installed. I'm not going to use it for an anchor. I'm actually going to use it as like a little mini bowsprit for a couple of sails that I'm going to put on board the boat, which one's an asymmetric and the other one's called the Code Zero. It's for downwind and reaching. The anchor locker itself is gone. I took that out of the boat. You'll see when I show the interior of the boat, maybe tomorrow. Anyway, let's keep moving forward here, or moving back, that is. So this webbing here is a little extra webbing I put on the lifelines. Helps keep me on board, keep the sails on board. And walking aft here. I have to be careful how I walk. I still have bad legs from my issue with my cancer, but anyway, that's not going to slow me down or stop me, that's for sure. Let's go look here. So some of the big changes I made here, obviously, is this dodger I put in. It used to be a sliding hatch. You can see the old track where the hatch used to be. Well, I didn't want that. I needed something that more secure and waterproof, and this works out just fine. I built it in such a way that's flat on top. That's just enough room for 2 solar panels, and that's probably where I'm going to put my panels, at least 2 of them. What other big changes as I've made here? Let's see. Down right about here, between these 2 windows, used to be a traveler bracket that ran from side to side that controlled the main sheet, and then the main would sheet back here to a winch. Well, I did away with that. Move the sheeting arrangement forward. You can see it coming down from the sail cover at an angle down to this fairlead block, through another fairlead block, and then back to that aft winch. What that does for me is it gives me a 2-to-1 purchase for the mainsail. Also, it creates end boom sheeting, which is much better for the boat, or the boom, that is. I'll show that at a later date, which is underneath that sail cover. And what other big modifications have I done on the exterior? Well, let's see. This seems simple, but this is a stanchion base. I moved these outboard. Came up with that little bracket there that holds them in place on the tow rail. They used to sit, the original ones sat here on a metal plate, right about here. The problem with that is when you grab onto it and they move, they created leaks on the deck, cracking and leaks. So this is a big improvement. It also gives me a clear path forward, less areas for me to trip. When these sat out on the deck area out here, every one of them was a trip hazard, so we took care of that. All right, I'm going to get on board now, so bear with me. I got to set my camera down here. All right, let's take a second. Sorry about that. I'll put her on board. Okay. Next, cockpit. So what big changes are we making here? Well, I mind what works this way. I'm thinking of this boat down the Southern Ocean, and I know for a fact that when I'm going around Antarctica, with the size of the swells and the wind conditions, I'm going to get knocked down. That's just nature of the beast. It's going to happen. So one of the first things I did is I you see where this window is here? That's where the engine controls used to be. So I took that out and I put them up here. I still have to do some finish work on it, but it gets them high and dry and protected. So hopefully they won't get wet and damaged. The other real big thing I did is I got rid of my wheel. I put a tiller in. And why I did that? Well, one is I like driving a boat with a tiller. But more importantly, it's a direct drive to the rudder. You can see this little post that comes out through the seat. All that's custom designed by myself. It's not the prettiest thing in town, but it's functional and it's strong. With that plate and the way I've connected to this tiller, it's not going to break. And I'm going to really test the heck out of it. I'm going to be doing some sea trials here starting in February. So if it'll fail, I'll know long before my trip in September. Let's see what else we've done here that's different. Underneath these two lines here were two opening hatches that opened up right into the cabin. I didn't like them for the fact that, again, to take a knockdown in the Southern Ocean, those hatches break or leak or open up. And I've got seawater dumping directly into the cabin. So that won't happen now. They're sealed. Same thing with this one. This whole area right here, you can see that was one giant hatch that you could literally crawl through. But also another great place to have a major problem with the boat in the way of a leak through a potential knockdown. So that's been dealt with. Now when I need to get to the back of the boat from the interior of it, you'll see when I show you the inside of the boat, I've torn out the galley and the ice box. So there's actually a pathway through here for me to crawl all the way to the back of the boat. In addition, the other major modification I'll be doing to this cockpit, these T, I call it a T in the cockpit, you know, kind of looks like the letter T. I'm going to fill this in. This is going to be decked over from here. Right here, all the way over will be decked over. And then I'll remove this section of wall here and a piece of this floor. So this whole area will cut out. This will come out. Same thing on this side. Why am I doing that? Well, it gives me a clearer path to get through to the back of the boat. Right now it's really, really tight. You can imagine you gotta crawl around here and it's almost impossible. So that comes out. And also, if you look here, let's see if I can zoom this in. That is a cockpit drain. There's one on either side. The problem with those, they're way too small. So in this area, like a pointer anyway, to the bottom on the cockpit floor, just beside the new wall I put in, will be two big drains. There'll be one on the left side of this window and one on the right. And they'll be flush mount, and then they'll run directly out through the transom or stern of the boat. So if I get a rogue wave that hits me, the cockpit will drain at a very rapid rate. It won't flood for a long period of time. And I've been out offshore around Point Conception. I was on a 65-foot boat. We took a knockdown, and if you can imagine, this whole entire cockpit was full of water pouring over the coamings. So it could happen in an instant, and I'm doing my very best to avoid any potential issues like that. I mean, to the point where when I travel, this little keyhole will be sealed. Something as simple as duct tape. I'm sealing around the whole perimeter here before I leave. So that'll basically also be waterproof. The whole theory is look at what the worst case scenario is and avoid it. And that's my whole mindset for the exterior of the boat. Let's sit here, sitting in the back here. You can see, jumping around a little bit, but anyway, you can see here, this is a new fuel fill for the tank. The tank's located directly under there. Typically in the past, you'd have a 90-degree angle fill hose, and it would come out through a deck fill right there. Why'd they do that? Well, people don't want to fill their boats up from the inside of the cockpit. But I prefer it. It's less of a chance of spilling fuel into the water. In fact, I even put my vent right there. So when I fill up a tank, if I happen to be at a fuel dock, I'll have a bucket underneath that vent, and that'll catch water catch the fuel from getting into the bay. And let's see, around here, these are temporary. I'm going to end up putting the starboard probably right here. So I'll send these in and get some made up. So 3 pieces. This piece will be mounted permanently to the upper board and sealed. Keeps the water from, when it hits here, from getting in where the seam is. So that's in the works. Should have that done soon. What else? Winches. Yeah, so I've taken in these old winches and moved them aft. All the lines will run from the mast, not every one of them, but the trimming lines for the mainsail, topping lift, foreguy, and boom bang will all come back here, and the reef points. I'm going to be getting hopefully a new main for the boat. We'll have 3 reef points in it. Here's a good view of the mast. This thing's built way overdone, and I like that. You look here at the top. Let's see if I can do this. Go right to the top up here. Notice there's nothing up there. No electronics, no wind indicators, no wind speed indicators. Just a simple little wind direction indicator. And it's going to stay that way. I'm not going to put a bunch of electronics up the mast. You do that, you take a knockdown, you stick the mast in the water, and all that stuff is gone. And I've been through that too. So use past experience to learn how to prepare for the future, right? And what else we got here? I guess that's about it for the outside of the boat. And show you around here. And looking off towards the sun, that's in the general direction of the Golden Gate Bridge. And come September, yeah, come September, I'll be leaving here and head out to sea. In case you're new to following me, this is going to be about a 230-day trip nonstop around the world. Oh yeah, here's something. This blue water tank I'm going to have. This is a 7-gallon one. I'm actually going to go with a different style, but it'll be 5-gallon tanks, and I'll have enough for 230 gallons of water. The boat has no permanent water tank. It did, 2 of them that were pretty gross. And they're in the wrong place. They're in the middle of the cabin. That's where my battery banks are going to go. And I'll be showing that at a later date also. All right, let's turn this around. There we go. I hope this was informative and interesting. I've been driving for Uber. Enjoy it. I just checked. I've done 17,600 some odd trips. It helps pay for the work that I'm doing on this boat. And driving in San Francisco is pretty unique. I drive a lot of people literally from all over the world. And I tell everybody about my trip and about my battle with cancer, and all in a positive light. You know, that, like I tell everybody, every day is a gift. There are no bad days. And it took me 66 years to learn that. But what can I say? I'm happy. Life is good. I'm really excited about this trip. I hope people find my reels interesting enough. I'll get better as time goes by. But, you know, I'm looking to find 2 million followers. It doesn't cost people any money to follow me, but if I get enough followers, I get monetized, it'll make this whole trip so much easier. I'm at a point right now where I've got to spend a lot of money. The work that I've done on the boat so far has been what I call sweat equity. You know, labor intensive, low dollar. Paint's pretty cheap. Fiberglass is pretty cheap. Patchwork modifications that I've done to the boat here have all been low dollar items. But now I'm getting into the costly stuff. Electronics. are going to cost a few $1,000. Sales probably $4,000 to $6,000, depending on how many new sales I'm able to afford for the trip. Food, I got to do freeze-dried food, 10 months worth. That's probably going to set me back about $4,500. I did a cursory number. I got to get the boat out of the water. I got to haul it out and paint the bottom. It's long overdue. The boat hasn't been out of the water for, well, since I've owned it, and then probably 4 years prior. So it's been in the water for a good 7 years, which is not good. You should be hauling your boat out every 2 years. But a bottom job, just to bring it to the yard, haul it out, simple bottom job, that's $3,000. So what it means for me right now is a lot more driving for Uber, which is fine. I enjoy it, but I make $1 a mile when I drive. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I love being out there. I love meeting the people. But take that dollar, excuse me, not $1 an hour. Did I say $1 an hour? Say $1 a mile. Make $1 a mile. So pretty simple math. Got to spend $21,500 on materials. That's 21,500 miles. It's a lot. On a good day, I could do about 200 miles. If I push it hard, I could do about a 300-mile day driving for Uber, but that's really rare. That's a long time behind the wheel. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Not going to do much about that right now. I just wanted to get this first reel off the ground. Long-form reel with YouTube. I'll be doing short reels with Instagram, and I'll be posting on TikTok and all the other forms of social media. Still got a lot to learn, and maybe I should end it now. Oh, well, one last thing. The boat. The boat's name from now on, from this day forward, is Leela, Leela. And Leela is the name of my granddaughter. She was born in May, and I'm very proud to be able to have her name on my boat in honor of my new granddaughter. So let's end it with that, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. More to come.